everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena, and today we are taking a look at midweek Magic. And as usual, pretty much the second midweek Magic is block constructed. Thankfully, it's an all access format. This time you don't actually have to craft any of the cards. Gives you something to play around with. I've tried a few of the different deck styles, and I figured, you know what, let's try to go mid range here. We're gonna do a sub exhaust deck here. So pretty much we start with our finishers. It's pretty much the Agonasaur Rex, also pretty good in the middle. I've actually cycled this quite a bit, and also Sab-Sunen, which is also a pretty solid finisher as well. Your opponent has to be running white in order to effectively answer this, if I'm not mistaken. But even then, the hits don't wait for us here. We do have some earlier hits, notably the Afterburner Expert. Just keeps coming back. A Fortune that keeps coming back is quite annoying, especially when we have Elvish Refueler as a way to help it keep coming back. Our other exhaust creatures, 4 copies of Sky Serpent Seeker, pretty much really helps us on the ramp department. We have a few copies of Ranger's Refueler. This one, just to keep drawing through many cards, we really need to draw through a lot of them. Our early game pretty much consists of Venom Sack Lagak. Answers almost anything. We have some copies of Run Over as our early removal, some copies of Plow Through as well. We have District Mascot also as an early game threat that starts growing a bit on us. Then we have a few copies of Mold Tender because we need the mana there. Now we have a single copy of Loot. We want to live the dream, but we're not completely reliant on that. We probably have way too many red mana sources for this. But all in all, this one is the dream that we're trying to live out with. We'll see how it goes. I've heard that people are having mixed results in this format. Also, yeah, rarity count is kind of busted right now, so not exactly it does consume quite a lot of rares. I'll be honest. So doing a hello? Uh oh, sige, hige na lang. Sige, okay, yan na lang. Okay. Huwag ka tanilo. A little bit later. Got Eka, I'll come up later. Okay, looks like dinner is settled. That said, we're still kind of waiting on our opponent to settle on things here. Also, not being able, so quite a bit of an inauspicious start, having to wait it out. I've actually had to. I at first wanted to try the white-black aristocrat style deck, but having to hit max speed first before you can get the aristocrats part. That one is kind of tough. Max speed is very good if you can hit it super consistently. I've seen a black-red deck hit it really consistently. It just has plenty of ways to deal that to sneak in those extra damage. So if you're going pure black-red, I would say that's okay. My only issue is really the mana base. If you notice, I've been trying to I happen to choose a deck that fit two Verges. The Verges coming into play untapped is a very big deal. We don't have dual lands to make it work, but anyway, so it looks like we get to go here. A bit unfortunate that this one does not produce blue mana, but we can just go. But we could go District Mascot, Venom Sack Lagak. We can worry about so we can do it that way. So our opponent is going first. If our opponent is still there. But seriously, this is just a midweek Magic. This is probably the worst format to do an Alt F4. Now that said, I have said before that there seems to be some wonkiness lately on the mobile app. I've had to clean the mobile app a few times. that, but I have seen, to make it work a bit more consistently now. The registration is. I'll set up the registration for that. If only our yeah, this definitely looks like a quit. The last thing you do is you don't give up your first land drop for a meme. This is definitely a quits here. Yep, and which is a bit of a shame. We had a very decent early start. If we hit our 4th land, our Skyseeper Serpent can churning through lands is pretty much is just as important as getting extra draw steps. I could have gone with the Pothole Mole as an option, but I did. But we're not exactly taking advantage of the mill aspect. Likewise, I could have also added I was thinking of adding a single copy of Sita Varma, but it's super late game. We're kind of mid-late, but our late game is some individual creatures. If we were a go wide deck, this would have been really great. It's more, but it feels more like a constructed thing. I could see it in a green black deck per se. So turn 1 Molt Tender, turn 2 Lagak. The Molt Tender is quite important as a way to get our mill going. So turn 2 Skyseeker Serpent, or Venom Sac Lagak. Because we have 2 options, but our opponent seems to have a slow start. No, I take it back. They have a good mascot. So with that said, I can't play the Afterburner Expert. I have to mill a card first, then I have access to turn 4. So my best bet is to just play the Venom Sac Lagak. So the size of the district mascot does not matter. Bulwark Ox. Okay, now that one does make it matter, but if our opponent is going to sacrifice, I am willing to trade Ox for mascot here. Next turn we can actually just go Skype. Oh, they're actually going to just run it over instead. Okay, fair enough. They do have access to it as well, I suppose. So what we can do is we can mill a card here. We can just use. That's a good mill. So what we can do is we can Skyseeker Serpent. Yeah, we don't need to spend the mana. No, we're gonna end up spending the mana anyway. We're missing green. So I might as well just set up everything. Unfortunately, we probably I forgot forgetting that Skyseeker Serpent is not a mount, so that's a bit of a non-go there. That said, he can threaten a lot of things with this, so we'll just have to be patient, taking a little bit of damage early. Opponent, they really are. Okay, I guess we're getting a lot of things removed. Thankfully, if our opponent is concentrating on growing this. In hindsight, this was a more correct play. We would have had some moves. Now we run over the Bulwark Ox. If they have a bit of protection, this would be super annoying. And you're right, okay. But next turn, what we do is we force our opponent to sacrifice the Ox. Basically, it's all removal and protection. They're down to their last card. So we're gonna give up the Afterburner Expert in case guys. There we go. And let's get. Oh, now they might have another effect, but if it since it gives hexproof, it nope, it lets go. So there you go. Finally answered your creatures. And if our opponent does not answer their fueler, you're going to. And our opponent concedes right there. Look, too many eggs in the district mascot basket. I would have liked some of the extra card draw effects, but having ways to sync mana are super important here. Should also check some. Also, I'm also starting to gonna start hoarding packs for now because there is an achievement where you have to open 10 packs at the same time. So I'm gonna kind of wait on it. So this one, turn to Slagak or Seeker, but I do like it. This one, yeah, we have to play this. Yeah, this also only generates blue, so our only other green source is gonna be this one. We'll play this out. We're definitely going to. Our opponent's gonna have max speed too. We'll see if our opponent has an answer to this. But they're definitely in the max speed deck, so we'll keep that in mind. So it has your God Seeker, which I really like, but we're gonna play this Seeker Serpent here. Now, thankfully this does not have haste, but I think and we probably should have played this one. No, our opponent is sniping our creatures instead, so there is something to that. I mean, that's a very not good out. That said, thankfully the Venom Sac Lagak is very good like saddling a Venom Sac Lagak. And we can kind of plow through most of our opponent's creatures at this point. Okay, you're gonna wipe one creature off. But now we need to stop drawing lands. Although the plow through is actually super important, especially in the decks that give us problems. Unfortunately, we're only gonna go speed. This is gonna become a heavy. This is a saddle too, so we're not saddling that anytime soon. Best bet is to swing first. If our opponent just takes it, then we plow through this one. They might have removal and response. Okay, they did both. But now we have to consider if we let our opponent go. Okay, it doesn't matter. They're gonna go to 4 anyway. So we'll just take the one hit. We'll take 2 damage. I don't think we can win this race. We don't have an afterburner on us. So, and yeah, we're just flooding on lands here. So our best bet now is to just we might have to hold back for this one, but we could. Yeah, the removal here is gonna yeah, okay. And unfortunately, those all ended in the bottom. So yeah, we have to hold. We really need an Elvish Refueler here. And yeah, we can concede this now. We just got loaded up on lands way too early. We don't exactly have much of a card draw engine. It's kind of just it's just a vehicle that that when you exhaust you draw a card. We just didn't happen to draw into that. It happens. Okay, so what's our start here? We don't start until turn 3, so this is kind of sketchy. I'm gonna mull this. This one, at least we start until 2. We have a lot of 2 drops. I have to give up on Sab-Sunen, unfortunately. It looks like Black Red is going to be the popular deck, so let's keep that in mind. Having all the cheap removal does help. Gas on 2. You can play Expert on 3, but I might want to play Refueler on 3 instead. No. Our opponent is going to... The thing with the Black Red deck is that getting to start your engines is more of an inevitability than not. So... let's see. You play Afterburner Expert. Yeah, I don't want to play Rangers Refueler here. That's and then now the caveat. Yeah. In this deck you need to win the die roll. Unfortunate. So already speed 2, but we can't. So taking the damage does not matter, so we might as well just block the boat. We're unfortunately also not taking our... This is 3 mana to cycle, unfortunately. So, but this does give trample indestructible, so we'll hold on to that. One is gonna get max speed, so that this is gonna go live. I suspect our opponent is also holding combat trick of sorts. Yeah, we passed the damage. Oh yeah, I forgot. It deals an extra 1 I'm supposed to cycle. Okay. This is where we hope we... Yeah, so it looks like the Black Red is really the good one. It's also the boring one, so I didn't offer that right away. But I can see why so many people are going for it. So it does show you why Block Constructed as a format is mostly dead. It's kind of... But then again, it is understandably the most low-hanging fruit, so can't get too angry with that. Okay, Mascot into Sky Seeker, we can saddle. Okay, no, we don't Mascot yet. We only have two of these and 1 mountain. Having to draw both of them is a bit unfortunate. I guess we go Sky Seeker Serpent. Okay, one's on the cycle. Hey, never mind. Sometimes you just draw the forest. So next turn, Sky Seeker Serpents, swing with that. Then the turn after that, Hornwood Falls, Rangers Refueler. We start. If we can manage to land the exhaust and get our lands, we should be able to get Sab-Sunen. And blue will need to... Well, blue does have a way to tap things down, but even if it taps down, we still get we still draw cards, which is a big deal. Now, blue could also have counter spells. If they're gonna just burn the doggo, well, I'm actually kind of fine with this. Yep. Oh wow, super insistent on it. We'll take it. So next turn we just go Rangers Refuel. Their opponent might end up just burning this Icy Serpent at this point. Not quite yet. I want to run over, but I also can't. I'm gonna swing an offer. I think our opponent just... Oh, they actually block. Because at least this way, we can still just exhaust this one and draw a card. It's not as great as Do you really want to be playing stock? Do you really want to be playing stock up? I guess if you're a if you're a combo deck that's looking for particular pieces of combo, this is what you would play. So the question is, what is the combo our opponent is playing into? Now there is a nope. The destroy. Oh, okay, we hit our land drop. So next turn, Elvish Refueler. We can play Elvish Refueler, then exhaust to draw another card. We're definitely gonna plow through or run over them. Or we could just play Sab-Sunen and force our opponent to have an answer. So this is double check 2-1, so the menace is a thing. Let's see if they do have that counter. Really could use that Afterburner Expert now. So this turn we can block. Well, we won't be able to block this, so opponent probably just ends up doing that, so we take 3 damage. We could also have a bounce spell, like a bounce spell that oh, no, it's not a cheap bounce spell, it's kind of pricey actually. That said, our opponent committed eggs to this basket, so we can switch up our plan. We can just Refueler. Luxa's actually quite solid. Quite solid. When it goes in the swashbuckler. I'm gonna just do the draw discard. He's probably looking for another creature that can do the sloop. Gives up on top to fabricate. So we're taking the tree, that's right. Our opponent did not attack the vehicle, so they're not getting this draw, they're only getting this one. Another pouch. Like I could exhaust this just to draw an additional card. might have a lightning strike. Nope, they conceded. Whew. Just enough interaction. I considered adding some blue bounce spells. Those would also be quite good, but I'm kind of worried about the mana. I guess what I could do is I could just cut out loot entirely, then run the mana base that way. But where's the fun in that? Besides, this is if you want the percentage points, yeah, definitely cut loot. Could you do a green-red exhaust deck splashing blue instead? That also kind of works. But I like the direction this one goes in better. Okay, Molten. We have our Venom Sac-Lagax for the time being, so we can kind of buy our time with this. It's a good question. Which is more correct, playing the tap land or playing the Molt Tender, then being able to mill up the next? After that, the next turn, we'll probably just dump these two first before I start dumping this, depending on what our opponent plays. This is burn spell fodder, but considering that we are trying to play smaller creatures, we're playing a lot of smaller creatures. So if I want to saddle this, so I'm probably not gonna saddle it. I'm just gonna offer the trade right away. Opponent really wants to preserve this for the most part. Next turn we will have 3 mana to drop an Afterburner Expert, and we can just play Rugged Metal card there. Our opponent's aiming for the 4 mana Exhaust. We're hoping to hit interactive spell by then. There's a chance we don't. Opponent gave up Rocketeer Boost Buddy. I get. Yeah, having the X. Okay, but they might have the shock. What's the? They have a shock. What's the shock variant? It counts mounts and vehicles for added damage. Yeah, I figured that's what's gonna happen. Opponent's not gonna trade, but it's pretty much a damage race. That's what we're aiming for. If we can hit Sab-Sunen, that would be a very big blow to our opponent. That does grow this one, which is why we have which is why we play the Afterburner Experts. Quest is not quite over yet. If our opponent burns the Molt Tender, it'll be annoying. I would probably still mill a card anyway. But we top out at 5 mana, so this is kind of and this is kicking off Celebrate. Oh, they didn't even activate the Exhaust, we're just kicking off Celebration. Okay, cool. Now, they are just discarding vehicles, so there is a suspicion that this could just be the the 7 mana slam all vehicles onto the battlefield deck. I would have expected more expensive vehicles and a lot more, and the cycling vehicles for that matter. Those would have been more effective there. All I see now are a bunch of goblins. What I see now are a bunch of goblins and nothing else. Okay, probably gonna burn some. Please don't be something we need. That's actually fine. Also interesting is that we can just exhaust the Afterburner Expert, get back the Afterburner Expert. And this is whenever you activate it. Yeah, we're gonna activate it. These guys kind of loop onto themselves. Now they could respond with removal. They did, but they still have to let. Oh, they did not respond to removal. They could still respond to removal afterwards, but they're now giving up the goblin instead. And yeah, if this ends up in the yard, I just end up activating this one instead. It's kind of like a vicious cycle. Okay, that's... I'm still gonna keep self-milling a bit here. Opponent... They're actually digging for cards. They're not even bothering to create an extra creature. Also interesting is that with this, I can actually play this, exhaust it, then just put 2 of them on the battlefield. But that's assuming nothing happens for a multi, and we do have to mill a card. Opponent might want to hit us, but that's kind of they really can. It'd have been nice. Opponent realistically cannot take damage forever. They have to start blocking. They actually have to start making. Yeah. Too many experts. Yeah, there you go. I think our opponent was going for a goblin deck build, but they probably had the same idea, but they missed out on their own Afterburner Experts, which also happened to be goblins. So I could have seen a green-red goblin deck would have also been in the works there. You just have to remember that the Goblin Lord they gave us is not really much of a lord. It just gives haste. It's good for Krenko, but it's not good for block constructed. Anyway, we got enough of our wins, so we can call this deck as it is. That's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications, and whatnot. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week.